welcome back to my channel, to my world, my music world. You might remember a little while ago I did a little gear breakdown for an album, the Reconstruct album, and I'm going to do that again because a lot of people want to know what I use and how I record my albums. So we're going to get started. First off, we're going to start off with the amp that I used. This is a Synergy 20IR. I use this pretty much on the whole record, or album, whatever you want to call it. Two modules. If you know anything about Synergy, you can get preamp modules from different manufacturers. The one that's in here is the D-Rec. I didn't use that because I didn't have it at the time. But I had the Soldano SLO2 and the Bogner Ecstasy preamp modules. This has a built-in cabinet IR. That's why it's the 20 IR. It's 20 watts. So it's a cabinet simulator, speaker cabinet. They have different settings. You can load them in here. And I used the factory ones, and I just don't even know which one I used. I just went with the whatever sounded the best. I also reamped my guitars, which means you record a clean, dry version, like right off the guitar, then you send it back into the front of the amplifier and record it that way. I also used a Crank Revolution 212 amp that I've had forever. I put an SM57 mic in front of it by Shure and a Sennheiser E609. But I think I ended up using the SM57 version more because the E609s had way too much high end and I just EQ it out anyways. The other thing I used was my Kemper Profiler, which I have many profiles of all my amps in there. And I used the Engel Thunder version that I made. And I also used a Blackstar Amped 2. That has a direct out with a cab sim on it. And that was mainly used for cleaner stuff and lower gain. And that concludes the amps that I used. Next up is the guitars. This is a Heritage Ascent H150. This it's different from the American versions. Has this little extended cutaway in the back, which makes it super easy to play. Obviously, they're made in China, which I like to say China, but it's not factory pickups. I changed those out. Not sure what's in this one. But I only use this for the solo, the end solo of the song, How It Goes. Next up is this Heritage H150 Ascent, but in a different color. This has a Planet Tone pickup and it's a more higher, I can't remember which model it is, but it's a higher output pickup, a little more driving the front of the amp, which I like to do. Gives you a little more gain. Again, great guitars for the money. This was only used on the song Let Me Down, just one song. I like to give everybody a shot on my records. This is a Heritage H150. This is a USA made. This is also called the Artisan Aged or Aged Artisan. So it's made to look and feel and play like it's been 1,000 years old, sitting in, I don't know where, but not in your attic, that for sure. That's for sure. These are expensive, but they are definitely really good. These to me are better than the Gibson Les Paul. And they're made in the same factory that Gibson used to be in, so there you go. There's some heritage in that. I think that's where the name comes from, huh? Duh. Okay, so anyways, this was used in Ticking Time Bomb, If We Meet Again, Just Don't Push It On Me, only the solo in that song. Hooch, Knocking at My Door, the main solo, and Doing the Best I Can solo. They just play like butter, and these pickups sound awesome. I think they're Seymour Duncan or something, Antiquity or whatever they are. They just so articulate and cut through. Very good stuff. Okay, this guitar is a Heritage Ascent H137. This has a P90 in it, and what the problem with most P90s is you get a lot of noise and interference from, you know, fluorescent lights, from computer monitors, from whatever. Just they're noisy pickups. But these are noiseless, so they worked really well in the studio. Very, very percussive, which is what I really like. I went for a little lower gain than on most of my records. I just tried to write good songs. That's basically it. This was used on Let Me Down, If We Meet Again, Move On, Let It Shine Again, the main solo, Don't Lead Me On, New York City Blues, and Doing the Best I Can. So this was a pretty good workhorse for a majority of the record, no doubt about it. Great guitar, again with extended cutaway in the back, and these noiseless P90s. Push it over the top. There's a big hair stuck up there. Oh well, anyhow, that's that for this guitar. This is an Epiphone Prophecy, 24 frets, Fishman Fluence pickups, a little bit of a cutaway in the back makes it super easy to get up high and play. Great guitar. I mean, I got this, I think, in clearance. That's why I bought it. Satin finish, but plays great. A little bigger frets than what I really normally like, but it did the job. This was used in Ticking Time Bomb, Move On, New York City Blues, and Nice to Know Ya. Good stuff. This is an Epiphone Firebird. This does not have the factory installed pickup. This is a Planet Tone Mean Mistreater. Like the P90 pickups, the factory ones are a little buzzy, and this Mean Mistreater did the job. Like the way it sounds, like the way it works with my high gain amps. I did have a USA version of this at one point, and I was a little leery to buy this, being an import. But when I did, I realized it's just as good as the Gibson one I had, so I dumped that one quick. And bought another one of these in red not too long ago, so I just did a review on my YouTube channel. So great stuff. Love the way they feel, love the way they hang. And if I didn't say it, I probably forgot where I was. This was used on Just Don't Push It On Me, Move On, The Solo, Nice to Know Ya, and Hooch. Worth every penny. Oh, and I made my own truss rod because it used to say truss rod cover. It said Epiphone, which isn't a big deal, but they're not paying me, so no free publicity. Not that they're getting much. Okay, this is a super, super old Paul Reed Smith. I don't even know what year I got this in. I probably had this 35 years. I don't know, maybe close to 40. I don't know. But this is an old guitar, and it sounds awesome. I use this on Lean On Me, How It Goes, and that was it for this guitar. One thing, I got my old Ace Frehley inspired guitar strap. And these straps, I don't know if you could see them, they are the best for any kind of strap locks I have ever used. Good. I can't remember what these are called, but I don't even know if you can see it. If you can, cool. If not, oh well. Great guitar. I've had it a very long time. Okay, next up is this Harley Benton. I got these when these first came out. Surprisingly good guitar for the amount that it cost. I did put a different bridge on it. The one that came on it was super high, and I couldn't get it, the action to go low enough. And it really cut into your hand. I like the palm mute. And the pickup was a P90 dog ear. And this is actually, I believe it's a DiMarzio Tone Zone mini humbucker. And I made this little trim ring for it. And yeah, for the amount that these things cost, I think this maybe cost me $160 or something, $180. And nobody could tell the difference between this guitar and a $3,000 guitar on a recording. They just can't. But this was actually used for the intro solo on Let It Shine Again. I think the only reason why I use this is because I was like, well, maybe I'll put a solo at the beginning. And it was sitting there right in the studio, so let me try this one. That's why it made it to the record. This is an Epiphone Widow. Gibson made a version of this that was like a limited edition, but ridiculous amount of money. And when I saw Epiphone was coming out with them, I was like, okay, I like that purple one. Let me get that. And all stock, didn't change anything on it. And this was actually used in Just Don't Push It On Me, Knocking at My Door, and Doing the Best I Can. I'm pretty impressed with some of these Epiphones. They're pretty damn good. Some of them need fretwork, but other than that, good setup. I do have a top wound, which makes it a little slinkier. Not much, but it does. Great guitar. This guitar is a Hagstrom Megan, It was used in the song Let It Shine Again, which whenever I release that video that I made, you'll see me playing this in that video. This is not the stock pickup. This is a Planetone 59, I believe it is. And a little less gain, more, I guess you would call it a classic output pickup maybe? I don't know. That's why they call it 59. If that's the name, might be Legacy 59. I don't remember, but they are great pickups. And this was, like I said, used in the song Let It Shine Again. This is a BC Rich Legacy B is what they call it, but I guess the folks there felt they need to be politically correct. But anybody that knows anything about this guitar, they call it a bitch all day and all night. The color is pretty crazy. It has a DiMarzio, I think they're deactivator pickup. I can't remember what they are. They're very high output, but very smooth. 24 frets, great upper access. These points will hurt you though if you're not careful. Let It Shine Again, great song, great song to me, maybe not to you, but that's what it was used on. So now, just so we don't leave out the bass players out there, this was used on the whole album, pretty much the last, I don't know how many albums, but I use it a lot. I've had this a long time. This is a Fender Precision USA, and I still have the little plastic that came on here. That way my little greasy paw prints aren't on there when I'm tuning it. I even have the plastic on the pick guard still. It's a little bit of dust, but that's probably from the guitar pick. Yeah, I don't play with my fingers. Great bass, great sounding bass. I go direct. I use an amp simulator, which I can build my own version. Some with less gain, some with more gain, based off an SVT amp. And good stuff. That pretty much concludes the gear used on the rock and roll release. One thing I want to add is that, just so everybody's aware, I do use Pro Tools, but I do not use any kind of pitch correction. So if you hear a bad note or a good note, it's all me 100%. There's no cheating on anything I do. It's really, really me singing and playing. If I gotta do it 20 times, I'll do it 20 times. But I just want people to be aware of that, because I'm sure there's some of you out there like, oh, he uses auto-tune. Never in a million years will I ever use anything like that. Never. On that note, have a wonderful day. Go buy the rock and roll CD, and stay tuned for more videos coming from that album and all kinds of cool stuff. I'm learning about AI, and the other thing is I don't use AI to write my songs. They all come from in here and right here. That's it. See you soon. Bye.